So the Supreme Court here has been making a ton of decisions this term, but they all really boil down to the issue of power. And through case after case, the Trump-appointed conservative majority of the court has been using every opportunity they can to grab power for themselves. And that... See? It started in 2022 when the Supreme Court looked at the EPA's power to regulate the emissions coming from power plants. This ruling effectively made the EPA powerless to enforce the rules that protect air quality and reduce emissions, effectively stripping the agency of its ability to do its job of protecting the environment. Then in 2023, the Supreme Court made a ruling that was a huge power grab. Let me at least tell the story first, okay? Jeez. So we passed the Clean Water Act in 1972, and in that law, passed by Congress, who, unlike you guys, are directly elected by the people, by the way, in that law, we said that we must protect our rivers, streams, and wetlands from pollution so that we as Americans have clean drinking water. But last year, the Supreme Court looked at the Clean Water Act and decided to basically reinterpret the text of the law, not to see if it was constitutional or not, but to look at the law and say, actually, water's only protected if it's connected contiguously to a major body of water. Essentially, they ended up stripping protection for 50% of U.S. waters. Supreme Court, you can't just decide how a law works after Congress has passed it. But I guess they can. Then came the Chevron deference case. You may have heard about this one on the news. See, normally federal agencies have their own power to determine the rules, questions, and details of a specific policy. These are usually highly technical decisions, things like what refrigerators qualify for a rebate or what food dyes are legal in the US. These questions are usually answered by federal agencies with the power those federal agencies innately have. But with this case, the Supreme Court essentially looked at all that decision-making power from the agencies and grabbed it for themselves. And so all these questions, which should be handled by scientists and experts, are going to the courts instead. Man, Supreme Court, do you even want this much power? The court struck down the Good Neighbor policy, which says that states can't pollute the air of neighboring states. And the Trump immunity case has the court deciding what is and isn't an official president act. So what do we do with a court that has grabbed so much power? Do things like expand the number of justices on the court, enforce term limits, and ensure ethical safeguards so no one can buy or bribe judges. With any luck, we the people can start taking some of this power back. I'm not saying it's going to be easy, but for the sake of our planet and our democracy, we have to try. Power for themselves. And no worries.